Sound off on the motors, but keep on. And oh yeah, was it you going tink tink?
No, it wasn't.
So you pop on some headphones.
Two people watching.
Yes, pop on some headphones when you sit down, and microphone, standard thing, just sort of speak straight into it. And about this far from you, Hooter. Beautiful. Oh, final thing. Behind your phone, no, right behind it, bottom left, there's a red button that says no. It really says on. It's just been installed upside down.
Right.
So when it comes time to talk, you should press that unless it's already illuminated. And if it is, that means that the technical producer has turned it on for you.
So you do need to press it to be heard.
Yeah, it toggles on.
Unless it toggles on off. Yeah. Unless it's illuminated.
Yeah, so he can do that remotely, he may or may not.
Okay, cool.
Whether the mood takes him.
And if he's there.
Yeah.
Getting a lot of balls back with a different pace. And that was the key, not giving him the same rhythm of the ball.
We are so live on the internet. Hello, internet. And I would normally say also that when any mics are live, the big light up there goes red, so we should avoid the sweary words. But tonight, everything's live all the time.
Right.
Because of the video streaming. So
we just have to say melon farmer instead.
yes, just remember that you kiss your mother with that mouth.
Yes, sir. That's right.
A limited number of new 1 or 2 bedroom apartments will commence in 2015, built for all tastes and budgets.
So this is a nice nice bit of kit you've got here.
Well, Mr. 16 recommended it.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a YouTuber. So he'd know.
A Logitech. It's gorgeous. It's ridiculous the size of the tripod.
Oh, I know. Well, it's really designed to clip on top of your laptop screen.
Ah. But it's a very nice picture.
Oh, where are you watching it?
Well, I'm just watching all the people joining my stream. Currently, I'm all about me.
Oh, I wonder how many people are on my stream. One.
I've got 4.
I've got 4. Yeah.
What did I do wrong?
Hey guys. Hey guys, thanks for watching.
Ah. So we've got 3 net ads, 1 YouTube, and a little bit of broadcast radio.
And
okay, it's almost time, guys.
Including Brislen, Hawke's Bay, and Northern Wairarapa, mainly finding a few showers at these places, especially in Coromandel, they plenty tomorrow.
I shall return to my seat.
Whakaranaki expects scattered rain today and tomorrow. Whanganui through to
Let's just
Taosi,
gesture at the
Oh, and we're getting some viewers in on YouTube as well. This is quite exciting.
We've just quadrupled your audience.
We're just going to sit here and talk about what is it? Paul.
Sorry, was that a state secret? The 4 people. I'm sorry. I wasn't counting your mum.
Westland, a few showers, Otago and Southland, cloudy today.
We're live the whole time. Live the whole time.
And for the Channel Islands, expect a fine evening and a few showers on the forecast tomorrow. I'm Oliver Hathaway at 7:08.
Here we go.
Live.
It's Sunday, so
Here we go.
And welcome to Sunday Social and a special show tonight for anyone who, like me, runs a small business. I was interviewed by ASB for a video series last year about how I do that. And it got me thinking there's never been a better or easier time, technology-wise, to run a small business, a plumber's or an ad agency like I do, from free or next to free cloud storage, social media networking, and even photo and image storing and collaboration via Pinterest. It's pretty sweet times for the small business owner. So in the second half, Mr. Paul Brislen, who knows all about that stuff, joins me to discuss his favorite apps and platforms for business. Very special show tonight because after talking video streaming on the Meerkat app with Simone McCallum a couple of weeks ago, we've got not 1 but 3 Meerkat streams going in the studio right now. If you wonder what on earth that is, follow me at Vaughan Davis on Twitter or go to twitter.com/Vaughan Davis and click the Meerkat link and you will find a video stream of the show. The other thing we have going on via our webcam in the corner is a YouTube Google Hangout on air. What on earth is that? Well, go to youtube.com YouTube.com/Vaughan Davis TV, and you'll see a video feed from the studio. So, bit of an interesting and technology-dominated show tonight, but of course there's going to be lots of really relevant, interesting stuff if you are into the small business. As always, feel free to leave comments on my Twitter @Vaughan Davis, and I'll get back to you, or text me old school 3920 keyword live, and we will roll your comments into the show. First, though, a little bit of music. And a very big welcome to the studio tonight, Mr. Tenby Powell. How are you?
I'm well, Vaughan. In fact, I am very well, thank you. In fact, I am like a kid on Christmas morning with all this technology.
We are kind of surrounded by it. Have you ever listened to the lyrics to that song? If you ever get annoyed, I'm actually self-employed and I'm doing nothing every day.
Taking care of business.
Which is kind of you, isn't it? So according to my extensive internet research, you're an entrepreneur, investor, part-time soldier, brackets retired, tireless advocate for small business, and it turns out an Auckland Wharf expansion protester.
I was a protester this afternoon earlier with my wife, Sharon Hunter.
How did that go?
Well, I thought it was good. It was well organised. In fact, the wonderful chap that organised it was our daughter's saxophone teacher, believe it or not. This is how small Auckland actually is. We are a small community and we care deeply.
It all comes back to sax, though, doesn't it?
It all comes back to the sax, man. That's right.
You've been trying.
I tell you what, it was great to see Nikki Kay and Jacinda Ardern up on that on the rostrum, speaking very clearly and very articulately about why we can't do this. And whether we can do it or not is probably not the issue right now. It's more about the lack of transparency that Auckland Council have shown, and quite frankly, Ports of Auckland, about what the compelling reason is to extend this thing 100 metres into the sea.
Now, it's a funny observation. This may seem trivial, but someone made this observation, and once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. This was very much a protest for white people. Is it the White Harbour or the White Matter?
Yeah. Well,
views and sailing boats and walking with a cup of coffee.
Well, city of sails, Vaughan.
I suppose. Hey, but that's not why we're here, but it happened today, so it was topical. Small business is what you're all about, and particularly, recently you and I got to talking online about the intersection of small business and technology. And am I right in thinking that this is a bit of a golden age for the small business owner?
It is, if the small business owner understands the importance of digital and social. So we've just done, and are still doing, the Biz, which is yellows, as in the yellow pages, wonderful initiative which takes a group of us around the country meeting small business owners in various cities. And we're going to touch probably 2,000 small business owners this period, over this month or so, 6 weeks. One of the things that we now know, and this is research that Yellow and others have done, is that only about 35, certainly less than 50% of small businesses have a website, let alone an additional online presence.
I can see why that matters to Yellow, and this number's trotted out quite a lot, but does it matter to every small business? I mean, does the guy that mows my lawns and is happy mowing my lawns and will always be happy mowing my lawns need a website?
Well, I'm not sure about the guy that mows your lawns, but the majority of people that are selling, hey, I'm sure he is, I'll get his name after this, that are selling products and services, we now know that 8 out of 10 small businesses in New Zealand are mostly concerned about customer retention. And at the same time, they are spending a lot of money on traditional marketing without doing anything digital, to augment it. So there's somehow a split in their minds between marketing communications in the traditional way that we may know it, radio, television, newspaper, magazines, whatever it is, and using a digital source. And yet we also know that the vast majority of New Zealanders are online and usually looking for something.
So people are online looking for the stuff, but the small businesses are not necessarily online themselves, announcing their presence. Although this has changed. The advertising dollar is finally catching up. There was a story out this week, I think, that digital in New Zealand finally overtook print. I think
that's right.
Which is it's been the popular wisdom for the last 4 or 5 years that the eyeballs have gone, but the advertising dollars aren't following. But that would largely be big businesses and telcos and banks and airlines and stuff.
Not necessarily, not at all. No, look, it's really important. Just some very quick stats, and I'm going to take out your program with stats and all. And I know you talked to Garda Vanderpoel the other day, and the stat that she took, which we've been reeling out on the Biz.
So she's from Yellow.
She's from Yellow. Yeah. It's a stunning stat, is that 1 minute of video equals about 1.8 million words.
What does that even mean?
Okay,
I read that too, and I went, what are you on? What does that mean?
We also know that the vast majority of senior executives don't want to read. They would rather watch that 1 minute of video than read text of any sort. But what it means practically is 1.8 million words is about 3,600 standard web pages at about 500, words a page, thereabouts. It would take us half a year to write that, but no one's going to read it anyway. So if people can be bothered to just hook up a YouTube video, as you have here, or something similar, they're going to probably reach their audience a lot better than just a traditional website that's covered in text.
So I will just break in there to say that if you do want to follow this show on video tonight, go to youtube.com/VaughnDavisTV. It's streaming live, and the whole thing will be up there later. But video for the guy that mows my lawns, or the plumber, or the cafe owner, there's got a high barriers to entry there, right? You need a camera and audio and mixing and editing and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's what we think, and we don't. And what we also know now is it doesn't have to be a sophisticated, beautifully edited as a post-production video at all. Just putting something up and providing the content is good, and you make sense in what you're saying, and you're genuine about it, being a real person, people tend to gravitate to it. I mean, look, there are 100 million internet users on watching videos every day of the year. And of those, 64% we know are likely to do something with that. They're there to get knowledge about a product or service, or they're there to buy online. And very interestingly, just as one example, an Australian real estate company has worked out that those houses which are listed with video content embedded in the listing increase the chances, or they increase activity around those houses by 403%.
Of course, the other thing they're there to do is obtain sexual satisfaction without the messiness of a partner. 32% of New Zealand international web traffic pornography. Did you know that number?
No, I didn't.
There's a number. There is
30% is it?
30 to 32% take that number to the bank.
It's actually that low.
So video, authenticity more important than quality, perhaps. What about social media?
Well, social media is, from my perspective, is an augmentation of websites with embedded videos in them. So if somebody's using, Facebook, and it's linked to Instagram, and you talked about Pinterest earlier on, and it's linked to YouTube, and so there's this collection, and around the key theme, whether it's a blog or whether it's a video, is the center of gravity around which social media rotates. And people get very confused. They say, I'm on Facebook, or I'm on LinkedIn or something. And we all argue that LinkedIn is Facebook for adults. The reality is
LinkedIn is Facebook if Tupperware had invented it.
Fair enough. But if we can use all these various platforms of social media concurrently, then it does make a huge impact.
So who has the time to use, I feel like I'm arguing with myself because I'm normally on the other side of this argument, but who has the time when they're running a small business to use one platform, let alone multiple platforms?
It doesn't take long. I mean, look, we have a group, New Zealand SME Business Network, on LinkedIn, mostly on LinkedIn. Now I've over 7,000 members, and I do it all on my phone, my iPhone, the majority of it anyway. And it doesn't take up much time. So when people say to me, particularly small business owners say, yes, but I can't afford the time, and so it's that cost versus value argument. I'm prepared to spend thousands of dollars of advertising in other media, traditional media, but I haven't got the time to spend on something which is essentially free.
I guess the other thing is ROI on your time. You could spend 5 minutes writing an email that goes to one person, or you could write 5 minutes writing those same words on a Facebook post.
Exactly.
that go to really no limit of people. After the break, I want to talk a little bit more about your personal life, how you juggled for quite some time being a soldier as well as a business person. I'm Vaughan Davis, and you are listening and watching Sunday Social. Back soon.
Sorry. Toggle, right, good.
Next one. And bear in mind, we are still live on some channels. Which channels? Oh, there's lots of people there. Hello. 12 watched.
Save this stream. Storage room.
Oh, you're stopping.
I am, because my hand's getting sore, but I thought to move yours around. That's bloody marvellous.
It's all a bit much.
Well, it's multimedia as well.
The numbers are small, but it's a start. I need to suss out that audio. There's getting audio from the room, but other stuff like if we play the video or the music or whatever, it's just not getting.
Right.
Because it's just getting, stuff through the air. Right.
There's no screen on the back of this, is there?
On the back of what? No.
No, there's no way to.
No, it is. It's a frame that you just got to look at the thing. Did I show you the framing before? Were you here for that?
I was there for that. So that's on your feed, is it?
What's on my feed of what?
This one is streaming
on
at Vaughan Davis, or is that streaming?
No, that one there up on the tripod
is the Google Plus.
Yeah, it's on Google Plus, but
right.
If you just go to youtube.com/Vaughan Davis TV, that's where that is.
All right.
30 seconds ago. So if we die, we don't die for 30 seconds on video.
That's good to know.
It is kind of good to know.
youtube.com/Vaughan Davis TV.
That's the puppy. Should be working.
Go. We're sorry, the page you found.
You've forgotten how to spell my name, haven't you?
I probably have, haven't I?
Yes, there is. It does appear to be a letter missing in your name.
No. It's Vaughan Rousel, whose parents can't spell.
Yeah.
Like your phone. Righty ho. So we'll come back with why small business. Why are you interested in that?
Sure.
Given that you're, at least on paper, your background is large business.
No, it's not.
Fletcher,
Oh,
Scaler,
okay, then. But that's
Highpool.
15 years. Well, Highpool's a small business in Florida.
Well, it was a national chain, or it has been since I was a kid. Highpool.
I took it national.
When?
2003 to 2006.
From where did it start?
Auckland.
It was in Wellington when I
Owens High and only 3 branches.
Oh, it was called
It's
Highpool.
only 14 No, not we changed it to Highpool.
It must have been changed back. You sure?
Very sure.
In Lower Hutt in the 1980s it was called Highpool.
Okay. Well, Upper Hutt was a Highpool, but Lower Hutt was Owens. No, it was 14 branches. 9 of them were in Auckland when we bought it.
Almost home.
Oh, come on, YouTube. You're not that bloody difficult.
And welcome back to Sunday Social. I'm Vaughan Davis. With me in the studio tonight, Mr. Tenby Powell. Welcome back, Tenby.
Thank you, Vaughan.
You're the only Tenby I've ever met.
There is a small dog in Wairoa, Hawke's Bay, called Tenby, what it was.
Oh, there was.
Yeah.
Were you named for the dog, or was the dog named for you?
Yeah, I'm not sure which way it went, but I was named after the wonderful little seaside resort on the south coast of Wales. With a name like Tenby Powell, it's kind of hard to hide your heritage.
It kind of is hard to hide. Hey, thanks for listening tonight, everyone. And if you want to see what's going on in the studio, go to youtube.com/Vaughan Davis TV. Tenby, I want to talk about your obsession is a strong word, but your passion for small business, because your roots, if you like, lie in large business. Fletcher's and Scaler and places like that. Why the focus on small business for you?
Well, that's a long time ago. Really, I mean, more than 15 years ago with Scaler and 20 with Fletcher's. So the answer is very simple. We've had £100 investments. The entity that my wife Sharon and I has had huge successes really in the scheme with growing smaller businesses. And while we've had a few, it's a bumpy road. It's mostly been very successful, and this is just a way of giving something back to small business owners to say, look, we need to work together. We are a community, we are an ecosystem, and an extremely important one to New Zealand socioeconomically.
But are we a community and an ecosystem as small businesses? I understand perhaps that plumbers hang out with other plumbers and ad guys hang out with other ad guys, but is there really a small business ecosystem?
Well, there is today, and this is the traditional argument. You can't get small business owners together. They represent 97% of all businesses in New Zealand, and we can't possibly get them together. I think we proved today, and possibly through social media and technology, that we do have a community that's interested and they're engaged and they're thoughtful about the issues. And the LinkedIn group that I run, we're going to start doing a lot more content around legislation, particularly as the Health and Safety and Employment Act changes in October, which is the biggest change to that act that we've ever seen. And it's it's a significant issue for directors, and owners of small business. So we're going to use it for those educational purposes.
So who typically is engaging with this network, if you can sort of generalize?
Oh, it's a range of people from, we've got small business owners from Whangarei to Invercargill. At the same time, we've got a lot of interest from big business, and most particularly banks, which stands to reason. But I think it's great that they're there, and every now and again they'll make a comment, and it's, we are forming a community who is engaged with each other and providing mutual support.
One really interesting thing in your background, and this interests me obviously because I'm ex-military as well, is that for a very long time while doing all this stuff, you were also a soldier. And I saw a story last week that I think something like 13% of all American males are or have served in the military, which is a huge number. The number in New Zealand is so low as for this to be a rarity, at the top of the conversation. How did you come to be a soldier?
Well, I was picked up at university, as many of us were in those days, and this was 30 years ago now, or more than that. And loved it. Loved every minute of it, really. All my closest friends, the majority of my closest friends are soldiers, and some of them are still serving in both the regular and reserve forces. And it's just been a great endeavour, and I've loved it.
But a lot of that time spent serving was as a reservist, a territorial, right? Yeah. How did that work for you as a business person?
Yeah, hard. It was very hard, to be honest, and then as a family person, even harder. Once kids came along. But look, again, it's trying to make a contribution to the country born at the end of the day, and this is what we're trying to do through our activities with small business as well, trying to give something back to a group of people that are critically important to New Zealand. And I'm talking about small business owners, not soldiers.
Well, going back to business and the relationship between business and reservists, territorial soldiers, how does the business community view that? The involvement of their workers in the territorial.
Look, it's from my perspective, I think the New Zealand Defence Force has a lot of work to do yet in being able to encourage reservists to serve. That the Act doesn't protect reservists at all in any regard. So you tend to do it.
So you can get sent overseas for 6 months and come back, there's no job.
Yeah, you won't get sent overseas under quite those circumstances. But look, as you know, you're in the Air Force for a long time. You don't join these things to play, just to do training exercise. You want to get go and do the real thing. But we've got some incredible skill sets that reside in our reserve forces, and I do worry that they're not employed to the level that they could be. But to have them employed in a way that would be effective for the New Zealand Defence Force would require a very different attitude to reservists from both employers and from NZD.
Yeah. Well, one of the big differences between when I served and certainly the latter part of your career was the advent of the internet and social media. And there was a story just today that the identities of the soldiers serving in Iraq are going to be suppressed and protected so that their families will not be. This seems impossible in the social media age. Yeah, absolutely, well, it's a joke.
Yeah, right? Well, it is. I mean, it's impossible because soldiers are soldiers, and you know what they're like, and they're going to film stuff, and they're going to film each other doing stuff, and so there it is. It's live for everybody to see. It does. Look, it makes a huge challenge for commanders. Everything's changed in terms of all that OPSEC stuff that we learned about. It's all very, very different to manage now. Much harder.
So in the same way as a parent, you take your cell phones off your kids before they go to their bedrooms. Do you take your cell phones off your soldiers before you go in the field? How does that work?
I can't see that happening in a hurry. But I mean, look, it does happen in some units, and some units are more disciplined than others. But at the end of the day, soldiers are soldiers, and they're going to take as much technology as they possibly can in the field, and they will use it. We see evidence of that. The YouTube's full of it.
That'll be interesting. I saw a tweet, this may seem unrelated, but I saw a tweet from the comedian Raybon Khan last night. Very clever man. I want to have him on the show if you're listening, Raybon. And he quoted someone else, and he said this about business and the effect of social media and the internet on business. He said, the world's biggest taxi company owns no cars. The world's biggest media company makes no content. The world's biggest accommodation company owns no properties, and the world's most valuable retailer has no inventory, and they are Uber, Facebook, Airbnb, and Alibaba. That's pretty. All of those are 10 years or less old. What do you think, looking forward, the impact of technology is going to be on small businesses, especially in the next 10 years? What are the big things you're looking down the pipe at?
Well, this is why we do this, and you've actually got to know the whole thing. Some time ago now, the World Economic Forum identified that education and business sophistication are the key drivers of the incomes of advanced economies, and clearly New Zealand is an advanced economy. If we can't educate our small business owners, and if we can't make our small businesses more sophisticated, we will become less relevant in the age that you're now talking about. And look, there's no shortage of capital in New Zealand. We've got a lot of it. And I'm talking about private equity particularly. What we don't have is the education as small business owners to necessarily use that capital constructively.
So whose job is it to do this education? Who's going to do this?
Well, there's a number of, without going into things like economic development agencies and regions, part of what we're trying to do with the work that we're doing in small businesses is to provide a forum so people can learn and network with each other and reach people that they wouldn't otherwise possibly be able to. And this is the wonder of social media. On that LinkedIn group, which now, just over 7,000 people, there are people there who could never possibly be able to talk to some of the members of that group themselves, but they can do through this online forum.
And educate each other.
Share stories and talk about successes and understand failures.
The other big part of society that's changing with the with the impact of social media and the internet is government, and the way business relates to government and the way individuals relate to government. What are the big things you're seeing coming down the pipe there?
From a government point of view?
Yeah.
Well, look, from my perspective, and I have the privilege of chairing the Small Business Development Group, which reports through to Minister Craig Foss. What I'm seeing is a greater level of interest in small business owners. I think, it's an idea in its time. And while, we started doing this work some 5 years ago to support small business owners, today there's a real interest in it. Labor came out, it was their cornerstone policy during Andrew Little's State of the Nation, saying small businesses are key to us. They are the most, one of the most important issues, which is fantastic. And at the same time, a minister in Craig Foss who has been incredibly active. He's been to 5 or 6 of these, biz events in small town New Zealand, which is wonderful that he's taking his time to attend these things and meet people and talk to them and understand what the needs, particularly in the regions, are. So what I'm seeing is a greater level of, interest and understanding about small business owners, because it is an important part of New Zealand.
Tenby Powell, thank you so much for joining me tonight
you.
on Sunday. Oh, I should say, if you want to get in touch with Tenby, what's your Twitter handle?
Twitter is just at Tenby Powell.
Isn't that the beauty of having an unusual name?
Yes, it is.
At Vaughan Davis, at Tenby Powell. This is Sunday Social. Back soon. Thank you so much.
Very good.
And we are still live, don't forget.
I've been to Tenby.
Oh, look at you.
Little seaside resort.
It's just up the coast from Abu Dhabi, where we used to go camping.
Oh, really?
Up the coast
from
where? Abu Dhabi.
Not
Abu Dhabi. No, that's down the coast.
I'm just going over and finish my water pour.
Oh, good. Am I in charge till you get back?
Well, don't touch anything. You're live on the internet,
Oh, God, no.
Goodness, how many? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
This is one of
Thanks for calling,
those.
guys.
Oh, I've got 9. Hi everybody, I've got 9. Tenby's got 7.
Yours is bigger than mine.
Yeah. It's not the biggest numbers in the world. I'll be back soon.
That's tremendous.
Very good.
Yes.
Paul, I love your Twitter profile with I bell the cat?
I bell the cat.
I
shall bell the cat.
I shall bell the cat. Is this post Gareth Morgan's?
No, this is a 19th century story. I don't even know who wrote it. I found it online somewhere about a group of mice sitting around saying, "Well, we've got to do something about this cat. It's ruining our lives, getting in the way. Why don't we put a bell on it?" And then they all sit there and go, "Oh, it's a great idea.
Who's going to do it?
Who's going to do it?" And this one mouse sits forward and said, "I shall bell the cat." And I just thought that was
you come with
such a lovely.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I had to have it.
Yeah, brilliant. Very good.
Good stuff.
Paul,
Lovely to see you. Yeah,
very nice to meet you.
All these years.
Indeed. Yeah. Well,
Keep up the good work. Thank you. It was great.
No, thank you very much.
So the intro was a bit rambly, but we're playing with the technology rather than telling the story.
I will listen to the rest of it in the car.
Awesome. We'll see if we'll make
All
it.
right, guys. See you soon.
Take care.
Okay, let's send out another tweet. There's a whole screen here. Yeah, the picture's not too good.
A shadow lying across.
Oh, okay.
Faces
It was
all
lighting.
Yeah, I mean it's pants for that. But other than that, thing of beauty.
That's the audio I'm worried about.
Yeah. And I had just found that tweet that you talked about, Ray Von Kahn's tweet, and retweeted it, and then you were speaking it out loud. It was rather eerie.
Oh, I need to remind him that we've got a quick phone call to make in this show as well.
Oh,
I know. You caught the notes of the phone call to make? Yeah, so I've got a bit of a, he'll be waiting there. I'll be talking and trying to say we've got live on the line, Mario.
Yeah, sure. I started recording this. Yeah.
Yes. Where's Mario from?
Mario.
Forwards at what's the time? Oh, we're in. And welcome back to Sunday Social. With me in the studio from Anthem PR, Mr. Paul Brislen. Hey, Paul.
Hello, sir. How are you?
How's your weekend?
It's jolly good. I'm learning new things. It's fantastic.
Are you mourning the departure of what was once everyone's favourite web browser?
The late great Internet Explorer. No, I like to think of it as not end of an era, but rather end of an era.
Oh, that was
Oh, that was good.
subtle.
Did you like that? Think about that for a while.
That was very subtle. So I was getting all nostalgic myself. I was looking because my first web browser memory was Netscape Navigator.
Yes,
God help it.
Yeah.
Yes, but Internet Explorer launched 1995, peaked at 95% usage. That is insane in 2003. That must have been that period when no one was buying Macs,
There was
right?
nothing going on at all. Steve Jobs had yet to come back to Apple. Macs were yesterday's plaything. The only people that had them were movie actors on set and creative types. And Internet Explorer was everything. I remember having conversations with web designers saying, why do you only design websites for Internet Explorer? And they said, well, there's cost to benefit ratio. There's absolutely no point doing anything else.
But then along came Firefox, which we all thought was rather cool. And then along came Chrome in 2008.
And that was
wham, bam.
all she wrote.
And I was reading that the percentage of people across all devices now, because it's a multi-device game, it's your
It's changed.
It's your desktop, your laptop, your tablet, your car even.
Yep.
Only 14% of people are using Internet Explorer.
That's right. Microsoft was really caught flat-footed by this whole move to mobility in particular. And they've got this idea fixed in their head that we'll have one operating system and one browser across your desktop, your laptop, your tablet, your phone. And I just don't think that's what people want anymore. I use a variety of different browsers depending on what device I'm using.
So I'm guessing if you've got Internet Explorer and you love that little blue E and you want to keep using it, you will be able to keep using it for a little while.
Oh yeah, it'll carry on. I mean, as these things do, zombie-like with its head cut off, it'll keep staggering forward for a while to come, going brains. But eventually there'll be an update and it won't be part of it, and you'll all be toast. But Microsoft is of course working on a mobile-friendly, mobile-first replacement.
I saw that. And it's called, all I know is that it's not called Internet Explorer.
That's right. It's called something else, and now gone blank.
Spartan.
What
It's called Spartan. It's called Spartan.
And it's 3 friends. Yes.
Spartan, and it has 3 friends.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're listening, you want to see what's happening in the studio, want to see what, he's got a very nice t-shirt on, as Mr. Paul Brislen. YouTube.com/BornDavisTV will give you the live video feed. This is an interesting small business idea, because we were talking to Tenby Powell just before the break. I think he wants Trump for mayor of Auckland. What do you think?
I think he should.
He's talking about government. He's talking about the opposition. He's talking about local issues or white local issues.
Yep.
Yeah, but a small business idea I saw pop up on the internet out of nowhere the other day, and I've sort of described this as digital tiffin wallers. And someone of English extraction, you might know what a tiffin waller is.
Never heard of it. This would be the chap that makes you tea when you're posh.
No.
That
would be a char waller.
Oh.
A tiffin waller is a person in a big city in India who delivers
with lunch.
Yeah, with incredible efficiency, little metal tins of hot dinner from home, lunch from home to an office. Well, a crowd in Auckland only, I'm afraid, to start with, called Kitchened, Kitchen, like kitchen ed, kitchened.co.nz has come up with a similar service. They don't quite deliver to your office. They deliver, and this is kind of mysterious and interesting. It's like a lunch meetup. They deliver to a central Auckland location. I can just imagine this van pulls up, the doors fly open, and there's hot dinner thrown onto the street.
Like the UN.
Yeah, kitchened.co.nz, and it's just $7 a day for a cooked lunch.
I would give that a go because I end up suddenly thinking, oh, it's lunchtime. Oh, it's past lunchtime. What am I going to have? Oh, the bread in the fridge has gone moldy. I'll rush next door to the sushi place and spend $12 on sushi. So
the only problem is that they don't deliver quite to your office like the actual Tiffin Waller does. They deliver to a central Auckland location, which could be anything.
Central Auckland,
Well, it could be real estate agents Central Auckland. It could be Onehunga or somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, what a great idea.
Worth a great kitchened.co.nz. Now, we love studies. We love studies here on Sunday Social. And you'll have read this one ahead of time, Paul.
Absolutely.
Social media is ruining your life.
My youngest daughter actually said this to me today. Dad, you're spending far too much time on Twitter.
Did she tweet that or send you a direct message?
No, she had face to face. It was an F2F process.
Oh, was that one of those moments?
It was almost one of those moments. She ruined it though by being glued to YouTube whilst she was saying this to me. So I was quite happy to point out that she's a YouTube fanatic and I'm on Twitter and I'm getting paid to be on Twitter and she's not getting paid.
Right back at you.
Yeah,
Brislen
take
daughter.
that.
Well, I hope she never gets hold of this research because she'll use this against you. A couple of New York researchers interviewed 1,600 people, that sounds pretty robust, about the impact of social media on their lives. And the news was mostly grim, which sort of breaks my heart because the impact of social media on my life is
pretty good,
positive. But here's what they said. 58% said that posting the perfect picture had actually prevented them from enjoying a life experience. So rather than just watching the sunset,
enjoying it,
they're taking a photo, choosing a filter.
Yeah.
And,
which media shall I push it out on?
Yeah. The classic example of this, is there's a phenomenon in restaurants, well, a reported phenomenon in restaurants in the US of people sending their meals back because they're cold. The reason they're cold, you're way ahead of me.
Yeah,
you can guess what is the reason that they're cold?
They would have been spending quite a bit of time taking photos of their meal before they got around to eating it.
That's right. They were hot when they got to the table, but they spent so long Instagramming them and choosing the perfect filter that it ruined the experience. Now, here's one for your daughter. 75%, a staggering 3 in 4, said they had ignored people in real life because they were distracted by their phones.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. What was that?
I believe that.
Yeah,
I believe that because, people in real life, you're boring. You're boring. If our internet friends are more interesting than you, well, that is just the way it is. However, I'm not going to excuse this. I'm not going to, except under very, very specific circumstances. The next figure, 25% said that they had let their smartphone disturb an intimate moment.
No, that way lies madness. You can't possibly take the smartphone in to such a situation.
No way, not ever. Unless you're pretending to be at work.
Oh, and you're waiting for that important phone call.
And you can just send your emails and reply to the tweets and not miss a beat. And then there's this last one, and it's a small number, 14%. 14% of people had risked their personal safety to capture what the researchers called a like-worthy moment. So this is, I'm just going to back out into traffic. I'm going to dash out into traffic, take this photo of the sky tower. I'm going to video from my car while driving. I'm going to back a bit closer to the edge of the cliff because there's a really good view.
That's right. No, and I can well believe that. I've seen people walking and presumably tweeting as they go straight out into traffic.
Look at that. 52% of statistics on the internet are, however, made up.
On the spot.
Yeah. Hey, this is a bit of fun, and this is something I was doing with Meerkat the other night. And I will mention that Meerkat is an app, a video streaming app. We've talked about it at the beginning of the show, and I'm waiting to Meerkat right now. If you go to my Twitter, twitter.com/VaughnDavis, you'll scroll back through the tweets. You'll see there's a link to a thing called a Meerkat video stream, and this is an app that streams video from your smartphone live. I think it's a game changer.
Very impressed. This is one of the few things that has been added to Twitter that actually I think is worthwhile.
It is kind of cool. But I was using it the other night with to great effect. I went down to the old Auckland Harbour Bridge, and 2 Degrees has carried out what you in the PR world would call a brand activation.
Activation. I know that term. It's
Yes,
it's one of them.
It's exactly when you get people to talk about your brand without actually paying for the media. And what they've done instead is paid for one heck of a lot of LED lights, coloured LED lights too. And here's a word you don't hear on the radio very often: festoon.
Ooh.
They have festooned the Harbour Bridge with LED lights, and that's cool as far as it goes. But the extra cool bit is you can send or choose a song that's from the 2 Degrees website, 2degreesplaythebridge.co.nz, and they will tell you when they're about to synchronize the lights on the bridge to your music.
That is very
Have you been
cool.
down to see it?
I haven't. No.
Go down and see it. Go down and see it, because
big fan of that.
I wouldn't stand out in the cold. I'd sit
No.
in my car. But once you get in the groove and you know what's happening, so you stream the music on the 2 Degrees mobile website, or there's an app, I think, as well. But who needs another app? And you can just watch the music play. Some of the music selections are a bit odd. I went down there with my 13-year-old son the other night, and for an hour I had to explain and justify what Boney M was, and even what early Madonna was.
Well, I've just downloaded Adam and the Ants. So
who Blondie was. But if you are in Auckland and you're, I think it's Friday through Sunday nights for the next couple of weeks, head on down to the bridge, 2 Degrees, playthebridge.co.nz. After the break, back with the very latest in apps and websites and stuff you're just going to want to have a look at if you've got a smartphone and a bit of spare time, and that's all of us. Back soon. Have you got him? Oh.
Mario. Andretti notes. Oh, Mario.
Do you know him?
Mario? Yeah. Well, only only by interview.
Plays games, good.
Yeah. He was. I'm going to download it now because I need a new one. I get sick of.
Do you want me to put them on here, or do you?
Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
Okay.
Right then. Game. Is it called 4 letters? No.
This is just a multimedia spectacular tonight show. I tell you.
This is. If we could talk about Kiwi FM, I'll talk about the way Whammo used to do it before they shut him all down. Because he was doing this kind of thing 5 years ago manually.
I know. And he was actually successfully getting the audio into his YouTube feed, which is something I have not yet mastered. I brought a cord that I thought would do it, but
apparently not.
The combination jack. I looked at the menu and I thought it had headphones in it. Didn't see it as a microphone. Pre-Yosemite, it had a toggle where you could tell it whether it was a headphone or a.
But now it automatically takes the wrong one.
Automatically gets it wrong. Yeah. Without any human intervention.
Without any input whatsoever. How is the MacBook though? Is it a thing of beauty? I need a laptop.
Yeah, it's no good. I can't remember why I upgraded from an Air. Probably because these have got lighter and smaller.
They have, and much lighter, much smaller.
Okay, back to go live.
Right.
Are you meerkatting?
No, I'm downloading, but very slowly because it's on 3 instead of 4. Come on. Can't find any 4 in here.
That was a shambles of an intro.
Oh, it was all right. Long, but you needed to explain a lot.
But I got conscious about 30 seconds in.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm ready to use paper and people can see me. I need a teleprompter.
Which way?
I do have a teleprompter app.
Do
I
you?
put it on my iPad.
Oh. Teleprompter.
Have you got them?
I might leave my ears on in that case.
welcome back to Sunday Social. Yes, indeed, don't worry, be happy. And tonight is pretty much the small business focused hour. However, you can't spend all your time on your smartphone doing the accounts or video chatting with your clients or interesting and worthy stuff like that. Sometimes you've just got to say, what the heck, and kill a few minutes and play a game. And a game I've been playing an awful lot in the last couple of days is called 4 Letters. And I was surprised and rather pleasantly surprised to discover in the research for the show that it's made right here in New Zealand, specifically Wellington, and from a company called Pickpock. Welcome, Mario Winans. Hey, tell me about your game. So tell me about how it works. I mean, I could describe it, but you made the damn thing. So how do you play it, and what's the point? It is incredibly simple, which I guess is one of the things that makes it addictive. You look at it to start with and you go, what? How long is this going to keep me occupied? You know, PIGS. Oh, that'll be pigs. And it just gets harder and harder and faster. And before you know it, you're doing very little other than playing 4 letters. Success for you on one level is getting a bunch of people hooked and playing the thing, but it costs nothing. And a million times zero, I worked it out earlier, is zero. How do you make money from this thing? My partner in the studio, Paul Brislen here, just got 34. I don't know if it's a good score. Is that a good score?
Yeah, it's a great score.
That was a question for Mario. This is a pretty. It seems on the surface of it a pretty simple game. How long did it take to make from start to finish? And how did whoever had the idea have the idea? So I want to get you back on the show some other time to talk about pickpock games in general, because ignorant me, never heard of it. 80 people down there in Wellington making these things. How do you download this game? Where is it available? Very good. We should talk again soon sometime. Mario Winans from Pickpock, thanks for joining me on Sunday Social. Mr. Paul Brislen. Oh, how are you going over there? How are you going?
What's that one? That was 25.
25. I don't think
I made such. See, I didn't see that at all.
I don't think I've been playing all afternoon. I don't think I've got above 30.
Oh.
Now let's get back to business, because
supposing I've got some work to do.
We promised people we'd talk about apps that are useful for small business, and one that really lights your candle is one called Slack.
Yes.
Which is a funny name for a high productivity, get stuff done.
Slack. Yeah. Well, I'm surprised, because the other day we talked about how we'd had peak social media, that there was no social media now that was actually making any difference. You'll remember Ello launched, and then vanished.
I do remember Elo was the bare bones minimalist social network that no one got invited to, no one was allowed into, and then
nobody
surprise.
But here tonight we've got Meerkat and now Slack, which I find is really useful. It's a closed group version of Twitter, for want of a better term, which allows you to set up a team. You can have a group of people who are working together on a project, for example. You all join up as a particular team, and then you can direct message each other. You can chat. You can share information. So you can say, right, everyone, I'm out of the office for the afternoon. I'm going to be at this other thing, and you join another team for the other project you work.
So it's fluid because
it's very flexible. Yes, yeah.
Like so many of these apps, they're kind of just slight tweaks on what other platforms do. Because I mean, you can have a group on Facebook, you can have a group on Google Plus, you can have a group on LinkedIn. But what's the edge that Slack has over all these things?
Well, for me anyway, in particular, it's very Twitter-like, and that beats the pants off all the rest because I live and breathe in Twitter. It will push out notifications to you. So if you send me a direct message saying, Paul, we need you on the show tonight, my God, it won't be the same without you.
It won't.
It just wouldn't. Then I get notifications. I really like their model as well, which is to be as unobtrusive as possible.
Which is kind of cool, because a lot of apps just want to take over your whole life,
dominate it,
and be your everything. One app that kind of is, so the name of the app is Slack.
Slack,
and
it's
a free download.
We're
not even going to ask how they make their money. That's their problem. One app that, this is one of the few apps that I am actually paying money for app/web platform, is Dropbox.
Yep.
And it wasn't so long ago that storage was something you paid quite a lot of money for, and storage was, if indeed you didn't have a server in your basement, you'd pay someone to store your stuff. Dropbox changed all that. Are you a Dropbox user?
Yeah, I use Dropbox. Yeah, absolutely. We pay as well because we need more capacity.
So Dropbox is what we call a freemium cloud storage service that lets you store folders and files on the internet exactly as if they were in your computer, which is kind of cool. That's my favorite thing about it. It just looks like it's on your desktop.
It's another service.
It's actually in the cloud, which is kind of cool. And for us at the Goat Farm, which is my little ad agency, it's our go-to sort of document storage thing. But the pricing is pretty phenomenal. 2 gigabytes, which is a lot of Word docs if you're sharing Word docs, and sharing those is free. Professional, they call it, $10 a month. And you get 1 terabyte. I don't even know what a terabyte is.
1,000 giggles.
But this is the modern age for you. This is the modern age. For the business platform, pay $15 per user. This is Dropbox, and your storage is unlimited.
Yeah.
Welcome to the 21st century. So basically, storage is so big they don't even charge you for it anymore.
Can't be bothered. Just give them some money and it'll be fine.
But then what will we do if Dropbox disappeared? I was worried about this afternoon.
Yeah, and if Dropbox disappears, we're all in trouble because, of course, this is very much what Mega Upload has become now. The new Mega service is an encrypted version of this. It's a file locker, just like Dropbox. They're being taken to task. They're having access to funds and the ability to charge people with restricted by the Americans. That kind of thing is really quite worrying. Does that mean that they're not worried by Dropbox, that they can all sit and read everything that we've got? I don't know, but Dropbox itself is now an essential part of business, and services like this you just can't do without them.
That's right, and the trade-off is, when the server is not a box in your basement, you do not necessarily have absolute privacy and absolute security. Right. But as someone once tweeted, the Venn diagram intersection of the internet and privacy, they don't actually, they're separate circles. They don't actually intersect. Yeah. I wanted to talk about MailChimp, but we don't quite have time to do it this week. Maybe do it this way. Give me 15 seconds on MailChimp.
15 seconds. It is the email app. If you send out lots of emails to lots of people, newsletters, whatever, like me, you'd have bought some piece of software. It takes hours to deploy. This thing is 5 simple steps. Bam, you're out there. You're spamming people.
Exactly. I love spamming as a service. Hey, well, thanks so much for coming in tonight, Paul. Thanks also my guest earlier on, Mr. Tenby Powell, at Tenby Powell on Twitter, at Paul Brislen on Twitter. Our technical producer in the other room, Mr. Kyron Black. Next up is Mr. Graham Hill and the Weekend Variety Wireless. I was listening last night to him chatting to Mr. Max Cryer, all about the etymology of pork barrel politics, which I really enjoyed. Now, I promised on Twitter earlier that I have a very special announcement to make, and you probably read ahead in your notes, Paul. I don't know.
No chance of that.
And here is the special announcement. Hold on to your hats. You may have heard some talk around New Zealand, around the New Zealand media scene, about a change to the radio, to the future of radio. The future of radio is coming. The future of radio is coming sooner than you think. The future of radio is starting right here on Radio Live this Friday night from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. when I get given the controls of Talkback.
God help us all.
God help us all. So, if you've always wanted to have your say, don't worry about your tweeting and your Facebooking and your texting 3920. Pick up the phone this Friday, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Drop what you, I don't know what you're doing at that time of night. Drop it anyway. Give me a call. Get it off your chest. Talk through the issues of the day and be part of the show. Hey, thank you so much for listening. If you want to see the whole thing from tonight back in video, go to youtube.com/Vaughan Davis TV. Thanks for all you people who have been watching it on Meerkat. I'm Vaughan Davis. This has been Sunday Social. Good night.